There's been a lot of talk and concern lately about a housing recession after record quarters for the last couple of years on many national markets, including here in Miami. So the question is, are there any signs that the Miami market is heading towards a drop? Let's get in the numbers of our exclusive quarterly Miami Luxury Condo Report to find out. And stick around to the end where I'll tell you what it means for buyers, sellers, and the Miami market in general. By the way, if you don't know me by now, I'm Sep Niakan, the founder of Blackbook.com and Blackbook Properties, one of the leading boutique real estate brokerages here in South Florida. All right, let's get into it. To start, let me give you some of my quick summary points. First, 2022 was another record year, just behind 2021 in terms of sales. Prices are continuing to increase, but at a slower rate than before. Fourth quarter sales have dropped, yes, but still stronger than 2019 pre-pandemic numbers, which is important to note. Inventory's up around 17 months, which looks like a buyer's market, but I'll explain a little bit later in this video while that may be short-lived. And days on market were stable in the fourth quarter, which is a sign that the market remains pretty healthy. And anecdotally, we're seeing a lot of activity from buyers and sellers this month in January, the start of our selling high season, which is a great sign. So here's some quick numbers comparing year over year, 2022 versus 2021. First of all, 2021 was the hottest year on record, and 2022 only was 10% down in sales compared to 2021, while prices went up. Median sales price for 2022 was essentially stable with a marginal 2.6% drop, while prices per square foot increased by 8.4% to $932 per square foot for all of Miami. Also, days on market was lower in 2022 than in 2021 or 2020. So what does that mean? That means that properties were sold more quickly in 2022 than 2021 on average. And if we look at the Q4 2022 numbers, they were selling at a median of 68 days. So if you're a seller or buyer, you can expect a typical property to move in a matter of approximately 2 months. I can assure you though that if a property is priced right or is a special property, it can easily sell much more quickly than that. And if you price on the high side, you can expect the property to maybe sit 2, 3, 4 months or more. Let's take a look at 4Q numbers. When we do a little deeper dive on the quarterly basis, this is where we see that fourth quarter of 2022 had the biggest drop in sales numbers by far. And we kind of expected this. Third and fourth quarters of the year are the slowest, typically. Holidays are here, folks are settling into school year, things just kind of slow down. Happens every year, except for, of course, the pandemic years where everything went bananas. Interest rates were up this past half of the year, right? Creating hesitation in some buyers. And talks of looming recession, lots of headlines about that, caused a lot of would-be buyers to hesitate, to pause. And only recently in the past few weeks have national headlines gotten a little better at making it clear that South Florida is not suffering the same declines as many other major cities, and it's not expected to in 2023. All that said, even though Q4 2022 was a rough patch for sure, it was still one of the highest fourth quarters ever on record since 2015. To give you some perspective, first quarter of the year is our high season for sales, and third and fourth quarter are pretty much our weakest seasons. Overall inventory did increase in the fourth quarter to 17 months. It's pretty common though that inventory increases in the fourth quarter as you have slower Q4 sales combined with people listing their properties on the market in Q4 in anticipation of the high season starting in January. So that 1-2 punch of slower sales and more people listing typically does increase Q4 inventory numbers, and you can see that if you look at Q4 2019, which is pre-pandemic, as a great example of that. So to sum it up, this increase in inventory didn't alarm me as long as buyers would stop hesitating, which they were hesitating in Q4. And based on what we're seeing so far in January in terms of significant pickup in buyer demand, putting in contracts, putting in offers, I expect inventory numbers to settle back down as predicted. When it comes to the Q4 stats and the 2022 stats, our conclusion is simple. With what we know about interest rates having gone down a bit in recent months, after having a big climb last year, folks feeling a bit better about the potential looming recession, feeling like they can weather it out, and just the overall attractiveness of South Florida for lifestyle and tax benefits, we're still expecting to see continued growth in real estate in 2023. Also, just a little note, we're not alone in these predictions. A recent Goldman Sachs housing report said that while most of the other major US markets will see drops, including double-digit drops in home prices, Miami will escape this and stay either flat or increase slightly. Other investment banks and housing experts also have predicted the same or better in terms of what we're expected to see in Miami in 2023, particularly in the luxury markets, pointing out that Miami is the #2 luxury market in the world, only behind Dubai for 2023. And it's also been rated the #1 US city to move for expats. So lots of great news coming our way. It's a bright future for 2023. By the way, check out our other videos for more details on a lot of these stats and reports that have come out recently. We do a deeper dive in them. So what does this mean for buyers? The market predictions are that with the info we have now, it looks like the market will remain strong in 2023. If you want to buy, buy. Interest rates have come down in the past few months, so they're historically pretty good. And if you're trying to time the market for prices to go down, you're likely to be disappointed and wait to no avail. So what does this mean for sellers? If you thought you'd missed the best time to sell, some people called me and said, hey, you know, I missed the summer. The summer was the best time to sell. It all went downhill from there. It's just not true in Miami. Maybe other markets, but not Miami. So if you thought you missed the best time to sell, buyer demand and prices are still strong here. Prices have still ticked up. It's a great time to sell, and it appears pretty safe to hold if you're kind of just cruising for the long run. So when is our key next inflection point? What are we looking at next? We're going to be keeping a close eye on the January and February numbers to see if the interest that we're seeing anecdotally translate to significant sales in the stats as we expect during this high season. And we're also going to take a look to make sure inventory levels dip as we expect to maintain the balanced market we're predicting. In the meantime, if you're thinking about buying and want to see what's available, or you're considering selling now and want to know what your property's worth, give me a call anytime. And if you like what you see on our channel, please subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks for watching and have a great day.